My dear friends, once more, welcome to another edition of our program, Demystifying Academic Research. Today we are looking at research methodology. Remember, it's a continuation of last week. Research methodology and how to choose the right one. For a research methodology, for us to understand what it stands for, there are three questions that the research methodology seeks to answer. It tries to answer the question, how will you collect your data? How will you analyze your data? And how will you report your data? And so research methodology also becomes the basis for the method in which you use in your research methodology chapter once the thesis is written in completion, is completed, maybe the dissertation or thesis or whatever. In the methodology chapter, you'll be able to tell why you chose a particular method and not others. You give your reasons why. For us to discuss the research methodology clearly, it's better for us to have differences between what we call the qualitative method, the qualitative research, and the quantitative research. I'll look at just four main differences so that we can be able to catch up with time. We will talk about the details subsequently. The first difference is that the qualitative research deals with words, it deals with description, while the quantitative research deals with numbers, it deals with facts, these are statistics. The second is that the qualitative research deals with is more inductive. There is observation that leads to a conclusion. While in the quantitative research is the other way around, is more deductive, where you have a hypothesis or you have certain facts stated, then you now move forward to clarify or to give the various parts of the fact that you are giving, you explain it. The third difference is that qualitative research is more subjective. Opinions, people's ideas, whereas the quantitative research is more objective. Remember, I said subjective and now objective for the quantitative research. And the last difference, of course, there are many others, we'll end here. The last difference is that qualitative research deals with the soft sciences, history, linguistics, sociology, political science, psychology, while the quantitative research deals with the hardcore science, biology, chemistry, mathematics, physics, you name the rest. For us to actually pick out the understanding clearly, there are some guides that researchers should be aware of. Let me give four main guides for researchers. Remember, the intention here is to help us to choose the right methodology for our dissertation. Once you choose the right methodology, you are able to hit the road running and you are going rightly. So to start is so important. That's why I want to take a bit of time to lay the groundworks for us to start very well. Now, researchers should remember four things once it comes to data and how to choose the right method. The first one is, what data do you intend to collect? What type of data do you intend to collect? We'll see the verse of data as we proceed. The second one is, whom to collect this data from. Whom. The next one is how to collect the data. When we talk about whom to collect data from, we already talk about sampling designs. When we talk about how to collect the data, we'll talk about data collection methods. And we also talk about how to analyze the data. This is now called data analysis method. My dear friend, let us take one at a time. The first one, let's begin with sampling design. In sampling design, generally speaking, there are two main approaches of sampling. There's what we call the probability sampling. Here we deal with random sampling. And what we call the non-probability sampling, here we deal with convenience, people that you can easily meet and perhaps interview them. The drawback here is that with the non-probability sampling, the drawback or the weakness here is that since there are particular people in a particular place, a particular group, The outcome, of the findings, you find it difficult to make a generalization about the since there were particular people that were interviewed. Or perhaps interview, yes, it's kind of like that. The second group is the data collection method. You must find out how to collect the data. Before you create a type of data, you must also have your aim in your mind. What is the aim of this your particular thesis or dissertation? If there are three types of way to see the aims. If the aim one, if the first part is, if the aim is to test a hypothesis, this is already a quantitative approach. If the aim is to explore ideas, people's experiences, understand how they live, their feelings, that's only qualitative approach. There's also another opinion, the third part is mixed method, where you mix both the quantitative and the qualitative depending on your research. Now, data collection method. What are the data? Which method are you going to collect? Is it through interviews? Is it through experiments? Is it through oral history? Is it through social media monitoring? Is it through surveys? Is it through observation? Is it through documents? Is it through records? Is it through case studies? So you have to, once you have these data collection methods, interviews or surveys, or maybe you want to look at records, it helps you to understand. Now, the last part is analyze the data analysis. We're talking about how to analyze the data. Remember, we're talking about qualitative and quantitative. With the quantitative method, you will deal about mean, median, mode, standard deviation. Those things that we did in mathematics before. So this one is called the descriptive statistics that helps us to go to a generalization. There's also the inferential statistics that also take a generalization about a population. For instance, deal with correlation, regression, t-test, and confidence level. My dear friends, it doesn't end there. So we'll take the next part, which is the part of the qualitative research. Remember, I talk about quantitative and qualitative. From now, you can be seeing that depending on what the aim is, you can already start telling which method for you to choose, which research methodology for you to choose from what we are doing now. Now, qualitative research, there are 6 things for us to remember here. The first one is content analysis. Are we going to deal with artifacts, no participant? Are we going to have explicit and implicit data collection, conceptual and relational data, proximity analysis, visual mapping? We'll discuss it better in detail as time goes on. The second one is thematic analysis. Are we going to deal with quotes, labeling to allow discovery of themes? The themes will come out from the research itself. I mean, are we going to see how we can do subjective analysis, which follows inductive and deductive? All this can be done under thematic analysis. What about the next one we call discourse analysis? Are we going to have critical discourse, where we draw meaning from discourses that come from many sentences, we analyze languages, people languages, have a subjective understanding? This is what we're talking about here in discourse analysis. The fourth one is narrative analysis. Are we going to look at artifacts, stories, interviews, life stories of people? The fifth one is grounded theory. In grounded theory, we collect data and then you make the theory that helps us. Are we going to do that? What about the IPA, the interpretive phenomenological analysis? Are we going to do description? With all this, you can be able to understand where you fall. Finally, to actually make a choice of which type of methodology to follow, it depends on whether there are more needs for more data or needs for more statistics. Whichever way, if your work is dealing with more of words, is qualitative. If you do more of figures, is quantitative. I guess that will be helpful. From tomorrow, we will take each item and we'll break it one at a time so that we can better understand this program. See you tomorrow and stay blessed.